What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. It's your boy Reg in the building. So for this hip hop review, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna review. It's pretty much gonna be a tribute to the rapper Rampage of the Flip Mode Squad. And who he, yeah, y'all should know who he is. He's a member of the Flip Mode Squad, the cousin of Busta Rhymes and stuff like that. And so the albums I'm going to be talking about is, for one, his first album, which a lot of you might think is the Scouts Honor album, but his original shelled first album is The Red October, which was originally supposed to have been released in 1994, as well as this album. Alright, so I'm going to begin with the Red October album, but first, let me talk to y'all about who Rampage is. So for those who don't know who Rampage is, he's an MC originally born in Brooklyn, but raised in Flatbush and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I'm tripping. No, he was raised in the Flatbush area. Like I said, he was a cousin of Busta Rhymes and stuff like that. And excuse me, he pretty much got his start in like 1992 as his first appearance on the Wax was on this one track called "Beware of the Ramp Sack," which that was pretty much like the song that really got him originally a deal on Rowdy, which is under Arista Records and stuff like that. Which Rowdy Records was owned by Dallas Austin and L.A. Reid and shit like that. If you guys watch my channel, y'all should know who those names are. And so he pretty much made his first appearance in his first guest appearance on the classic Leaders of the New School song Time Inner Minds, the Time album and shit like that, which best beware, I'm still gonna talk about Leaders of the New School's albums and stuff like that, so stay tuned on that. It was on the track 13 Spontaneous MCs and stuff like that, and between like 93 and 94, he was getting ready to release the Red October album and shit like that. But the album, it's crazy because the album ended up getting shelved and shit like that. And this is around the time when he had also appeared on Craig Mack's. What's my water at? I'm sorry. I just had a bottle of water here somewhere. I can't find it. But yeah, Craig Mack's excuse me, the Flavor in Your Ear remix and shit like that, which that song also featured Biggie, LL, and Busta Rhymes. Classic remix right there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the Red October was supposed to have been released in 1994, but it ended up getting shelved. I really couldn't find a reason why it was shelved. I guess they really didn't think it was that good enough and stuff like that, but at the same time, it is what it is. So, give me 1 second, I'm gonna pull up and listen up. So yeah, if you guys listen to this album, it pretty much has that rough 1994 sound and shit like that. It was, I think it really was released digitally in like, I think 2014 and shit like that. But yeah, producers include Rashad Smith, the Vibe Chemist, Backspin, um, Busta Rhymes. He did some beats on this, and Jimzy and Felony Music. And the features include Sirius, Busta Rhymes, of course, and Miss Jones. Alright, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 12 tracks, y'all know what I'm about to do. Track number 1, The Night Before the Shit Drops. Very, very, very dope track right here. Um, with this track, it's just to get hyping himself up with the album that he's about to drop and shit. This was one of the few tracks that was also carried over with the Scouts Honor album and shit like that. Rashad Smith made the beat, very dope beat. Track number 2, The Last Boy Scout, another pretty solid track right there. Another very solid beat, and he was just cruising. It was like a braggadocio kind of track right there, which I dig. Next track is Beware of the Ramp Sack. Yeah, that song right there is crazy and shit like that. And there was also a video to that track, too and shit. Yeah, this one was pretty dope. So I love this shit right here. That Rashad. Hold on, wait a minute. It said Rashad Smith made the beat, but I'm looking at Rap Genius. It said Tumbling Dice, but that's interesting. But yeah, very like I love Rampage's braggadocio and stuff like that, and like his punchlines and shit. Like he'll say some shit like, "I know there's been competition. Rev Algi's on a mission. Plus we got crazy ambition. Now I walk around, girls wanna say hi to me, cause I'm rolling with Buster and the musical society, man. Like very dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Very dope. Next track, The Illest Moment, featuring Sirius. That song was alright. Actually, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, they got a weird track list. I'm rereading some shit, but yeah, this Illa's Moment is actually very dope. So that's probably like one of my favorite tracks off this album, actually. Um, yeah, I didn't really write no lyrics down, but we just went in on that track. Rashad Smith was killing it with this album too. Um, Next track, No I'm Not Home. No I'm Not Home. It's an alright track. Wasn't really too crazy about that. Then the next track is looking at the world, featuring Busta Rhymes as a producer. Yeah, very dope track right there. Love that shit. Um, Next track, Do You Want It, featuring Busta Rhymes. Yeah, man. Whenever him and Busta gets together, I'm always down to listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man. Busta's a very dope producer too, man. He never gets a shit pop for that. The Red October was pretty straight. I love that beat and shit like that. Set It Straight with Miss Jones, right? What else? Come With It was cool. Yeah, with this album right here, it's like a lot braggadocio shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of braggadocio and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this album right here is pretty solid. I wish it was released, man. I wish this album could have been released and shit, but it is on YouTube and stuff like that. So definitely take people listen to it. And so that is the Red October and stuff like that. So that's a very dope album and shit. Then fast forward, he was getting his name out there, but at the same time, he appeared on Busta Rhymes' breakthrough hit, "The Woo-Ha Got You All in Check" and shit like that. And he also appeared on like other tracks off the Coming album, like Abandoned, Abandoned Ship. He appeared on the intro. He appeared on the classic Flipmo Squad meets Def Squad, one of the all-time greatest posse cuts in my opinion. And so he got a new record deal with Elektra Records, and so that's when he was getting ready to drop this album right here, which was Scouts on Him by way of Blood. Like very cool album cover. I think it's just Rampage's face and shit all distorted and stuff. It's fucking grimy as fuck. Yeah, man, fucking Rampage and shit. Alright, so with this album, singles off this album, it only came out, I believe, two singles, which was Wild, Take It to the Streets, We Gets Down. Let me double check and go to the only single. I want to say Wild for the Night was also a single. I want to say. Producers include Rick Posada, Busta Rhymes, who were the executive producers, DJ Scratch. Y'all should know how I feel about him. Rampage himself, Rashad Smith, Teddy Riley of Black Street fame, and the Vibe Chemist Backspin. Features on this album include DJ Scratchinator, Kareem Storm, Kyle Shutter, Kidu Kadal, Busta Rhymes, Lord Have Mercy, Sirius, Spliff Star, Alan Scott Plotkin, um, Billy Lawrence, and shit like that, who was like a singer, who was basically a singer and shit. That he had a few joints here and there and stuff. So yeah. Mecca, DJ Scratch, and I believe that's it. 14 tracks. Let's get this shit started. Track number 1 is the intro, which, like I said, it was pretty much like set the whole tone of the album and stuff like that. So, liked it for what it was, in my opinion. So that was very cool. Then we got Flip Mode is the Squad as the next track, featuring Busta, Lord, Sirius, and Spliff. Very great song and shit. Nice little posse cut. They all did their thing, but in my opinion, I felt like Lord Have Mercy definitely stole the show. And stay tuned when I'm gonna talk about like a lot of Flip Mode Squad albums that's been unreleased too, so stay tuned on that, including Lord Have Mercy's album. Like this nigga said some shit like colonized like pirates and criminals convicted of world crime while I'm worldwide and flows and shit. Modernized and digital, evacuate civilized. Pretty dope track right there. Like I said, they all did their thing. I even like Busta when he said, "Kill corny niggas with no remorse. Turn my light off, turn the mic on. Your Busta rhymes commending fans, so who'll be the true lyric icon? It really don't matter how much bigger. I storm all over motherfuckers like some end of the world niggas." Like, come on, man. That shit's tough as fuck. I already talked about The Night Before My Shit Drop. I already talked about that track. Next track, Talk of the Town. Talk of the Town, that was a pretty cool song. Well, that was a pretty cool song. Like, continuing on with his like braggadocio, continuing on with his braggadocio flow and stuff like that. Um, Track number 5, Get the Money and Dip, featuring Busta Rhymes. Oh man, that's like again, one of my favorite songs he's ever done. Him and Busta always had that ill chemistry when they're like, when it comes to duo, I never hear people mention Busta and Rampage. Like, you hear people say, Ray and Ghost, Havoc and Prodigy of Mob Deep. But Busta and Rampage, I would put them up there, like, in terms of energy and charisma and shit like that. So, yeah, man, they all did their thing on that. Next track is Get the Money. No, I was talking about that. The Setup, man. Very cool track. He actually talks about like, a lot of substance with this one, where he's talking about how MCs will come into the hip hop game and they won't even know better. They think they know everything, but next thing you know, they let the labels jerk you around and shit. Pretty ill track right there. I love this line when he says, "The brother is in the front of your door with the chrome. You sneak through the back way. To that's nervous. They wanna get your mom before Sunday service." Man, love that shit right there. Pretty ill joint right there. Next track, Wild for the Night. Again, this one features Busta Rhymes. Yo, this is like a fucking nice bang. This is like vintage Flip Mode Squad right here. Like, Backspin the Bob Chemist produced that track right here. Definitely a nice little banger between Busta and Rampage and shit. Rampage, definitely did this thing when he said like, "Rampage is higher than the ceiling. Mad appealing brothers who dealing for Brownsville and are ready and willing. I'm playing lock and chase." Like, come on. Like, this could have been like, this was like a fucking nice club banger and shit like that. Definitely get the party jumping. Track number 8, Flip Mode Enemy number 1. This was produced by DJ Scratch, and it was pretty much a nod, a cover of the Public Enemy song, Public Enemy number 1, and it features Sirius 2. I wasn't really too crazy about the track. I kind of felt like it was a bit too long. I understand that they were paying homage to Public Enemy, which again, my favorite hip hop group of all time. But I felt like it was a bit too long and shit like that. I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling it and shit. Then track number 9 on Take It to the Streets. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling this track right here. This features Billy Lawrence. It's pretty much trying to go after that whole bad boy sound and stuff like that. Even the video itself and shit, it was kind of like one of those commercial songs and shit, which I could have done without. Next track number 10, Conquer the World. Conquer the World is definitely my favorite track off this album and shit like that. That shit was produced by It was produced by DJ Scratch and it's featured Mecca and stuff. Pretty much the dope song and shit, just him on some real shit talking about, he's gonna conquer the world and shit. In terms of hip hop music, you know what I'm saying? I love the line where he says, I don't mean to brag and boast. I'm the live nigga moving with toast. The player haters in the games be cutting it close. I'm laying low in the fat red Testaros. Adios from coast to coast, iced out, flooded the watch, man. Very dope track. I love this song right here, man. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite songs off the actually, it is my favorite song off the album. Let me stop playing it. Next track, Hall of Fame. Another braggadocio track right here where he's mentioning how he should be in the Hall of Fame and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? How he'll battle every MC period and shit. So, yeah, man, definitely very, very, very interesting track right here. Next track we got is Niggas Is Bad, which is also one of my all-time favorite tracks off this album and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I love that chorus. That chorus is so ill and shit. And it also features Sirius too, who did his thing. Yeah, very cool song. Track number 13, We Gets Down remix. This features 702. From what I'm looking at, it says 702 appeared on the song and shit like that, but this was produced by Teddy Riley, DJ Scratch, and Spring Doogie Williams. Not a fan of this track. The beat didn't really fit this album. Like, I like Teddy Riley, but certain certain rappers he works well with, and I feel like this didn't really fit well with this album. And the last track, Rampage outro, was like Rampage giving his thanks and stuff like that, and bigging up Busta Rhymes with the next one, When Disaster Strikes. And that's all the time I have for this album. Overall, this is a cool, very dope album. It's a good album, but it has a few flaws with it. And I kind of felt like, with this album, like lyrically, he was definitely improving lyrically and shit like that. But at the same time, I felt like some of the beats didn't really fit the album. There's like some tracks where he tried to go for that commercial sound or try to do what Busta did on the Coming album or some shit like that. But at the same time, it didn't really work well for Rampage. But at the same time, I do love his energy throughout this whole fucking album and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely felt like this album right here, when it comes to like the whole Flip Mode Squad, it kind of gets a little slept on and shit. But if you're expecting like the Coming or even When Disaster Strikes, you're gonna be kind of disappointed. If I was to pick between the Red October and this album, to be quite honest, I would partially pick Red October in terms of like production, but I would pick this album in terms of how he's in the mic and lyricism and shit. So it's kind of weird though, but at the same time, yeah, man. And this album is out of print too. This album's out of print too. So, but it's not expensive and shit. So definitely, if you find this album, must have in your collection. And that's all the time we have for this album. Stay tuned for more. Peace.